Welcome back to Globe or Get Out. I am half of the podcast, Mel.
And I'm the other half, Sam.
Hey guys, what's up? Today we got kind of like what I'm going to assume is a ramble episode of just a thought about taking risks, specifically like while we're young.
Yeah, life-changing risks.
Yeah. So before we get into the actual episode, let's give you a little rundown on what's going on this week or what went on last week.
Correct.
What happened?
Good question. You know, every time you ask me this question, I'm like, I have no idea. Which is so bad.
Fair enough.
What did I do last week? I don't know. I feel like I guess I just had... Oh, it was Victoria's birthday.
Oh.
There it is. It was
Yes.
Victoria's birthday, our mutual friend that we always talk about. So that was exciting. Yeah. I don't know. Chill week. Worked. Felt productive. Got things done. Wasn't too stressful, I guess. Not much to say. What about you?
I mean, yeah, I did the birthday thing too. Oh, I feel like I've brought it up a couple times, maybe a lot, I don't know, on the podcast whenever I talk about spirituality. My spiritual center opened back up on Sunday, and it felt like incredible to be back. I just sobbed the entire time, so that was cool. Yeah, it's just like, it's nice, although we're like talking about taking risks today. I think like part of what makes me feel so comfortable to like take those risks or like really feel in tune with what I have to do, even though if it feels risky, is like my faith and like my spirituality. And so that being a part of like my routine, at least like weekly, I think is going to be like very helpful. I think I was in a very like healthy mental space whenever I was going regularly, and I hadn't been because it was only virtual, which it just like doesn't feel the same, I guess.
Yeah.
So that was a big part of my week, or my weekend, I should say. And then yeah, as far as work and stuff, it's been productive. Yeah, that's about it. Nice.
I mean, I guess we can roll into the topic based on your week, but obviously the topic isn't about why you should take risks or like why you should feel comfortable, but it is important to feel comfortable taking risks.
Right.
So just like knowing that the universe will always have your back is kind of reassuring.
Yeah.
Or God or whatever you believe.
Yeah, I think the principle of like knowing that like life is happening for you and not to you is always really helpful, and like always knowing that whatever decisions you make are literally supposed to happen, whether they feel good or bad. Like they're always technically just happening, you know?
Yeah.
And like you're being guided all the time. And so like if you feel like something's risky, just like I guess also like, do you ever like notice the difference like based on intuition, whether something feels like bad risky or like just like I'm a little bit nervous, or like this feels not dangerous, but this feels like I feel awful right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, I think, right?
Yeah.
There's
do you
like
still
an obvious...
Do you take the risk?
Yeah.
Oh,
I will. I think
head first.
I think based on some past decisions I've made, we can see I'll take some very big risks in my life.
Mm-hmm.
But that's like, I guess like you can take risks in every aspect of your life. So there's people who take risks financially, mentally. Mentally seems to be just kind of more of like it was a subsequent, reaction to whatever you took a risk on. But, financially, career-wise, relationship, family, friends, like you could take risks in a lot of different ways. I feel like I most prevalently take risks in my love life. I'm just built that way, I guess. I don't know.
I think that's very based on like your history.
Yeah.
With relationships. I think because you had such a long-term one, I think like now just dipping your toes back into like just the feels overall, you know what I mean?
Correct. Yeah.
So
agreed. But yeah, and then there's people who probably just take risks with jobs and just quit their jobs on a whim and travel the world, or, whatever. Or
me in my early 20s.
Yeah, I feel like
I would have a new job like every 3 months.
Nice. Were you traveling the world when you quit, though?
I was traveling, not the world.
Hey,
Yeah.
and that's the
I
world.
would go to like Santa Barbara and be like,
That's
you know what?
the world.
They don't want to give me this day. I'm gonna quit. I can find another job.
She said Forever 21, bye.
Literally,
I don't need you.
I went from like working at Target for like a month
Nice.
to like getting a call back from Forever 21. And I was like, period. I would rather get like a discount to a clothing store.
Target's low-key better.
Yeah.
Like, looking back.
Looking back, though, like, Forever 21 was, like, the place to shop,
Yeah.
at least,
In the time.
in this area.
Right.
So I was like, fuck it. And I remember I showed the fuck up to my interview.
They were like, this
And I
girl's
got it.
overqualified.
Basically, that's what I was giving, honestly. And then I was like, y'all make me work late-ass hours. I'm gonna go find another job. And I was, like, 2 months maybe into that job.
Yes.
And then I worked at Aldo, and then that was a whole shit show. And then I like left after like 4 months or 5 months, and I just kept going. So
Wow. Love that.
there's always something else to
Risk-taking.
do.
Yeah. There is. You learned a lot, I'm sure, in each thing.
It's all about what you bring to the table, how you say things. You know what I mean?
Explain how you say things. What do you mean by that?
Like if you're interviewing for, I mean,
Oh,
I,
you
know what I mean?
mean going forward
Yeah.
with that on your
Yeah.
resume. Okay. Like, why were you there a month? How you say it.
Yeah. So yeah. Anyway,
Yeah, not the point of the topic
Not
today.
the
Jumping around from
topic.
job to job, but kind of. I mean, hey, if you are bored of your job and feel like you can't do anything about it, pick up a new hobby that's somewhere in like a field you want to dabble in or something. You know what I mean? Like maybe you want to go into sports marketing. Get season tickets for the Dodgers.
what the fuck? Start a blog about it or like a TikTok. I don't know.
Yeah, create content for the Dodgers or some shit. I don't know. Just start doing shit, putting yourself out there. I feel like
Is that risky though, or is that just like being calculated about like your next move?
I mean, that's the thing. What defines risk? Like
I think like
something that makes you uncomfortable?
yeah, but like kind of it's like not necessarily leaving something behind, but like having, I think risk, we should look up the actual definition, but I think based on what I am like thinking about the feeling, it's like the opportunity for something with also like the opportunity of having something be left behind,
Okay.
you know, or like losing something,
Okay.
like either you win or you lose type situation.
I mean, risk, the simple definition doesn't have all that, but it just says a situation involving exposure to danger. Expose someone or something to danger, harm, or loss.
So you're
Put at
you're
risk.
exposing yourself to maybe an opportunity, but maybe a loss, you know?
Yeah.
It's like a toss-up.
So, I mean, technically you could say, like, what we're doing. Let's put ourselves in the light of risk.
Okay.
For some people, this could be super risky, like having a podcast and putting themselves out there. Because, like, they could lose fucking, I don't know, self-worth.
Dignity.
Dignity, I don't know.
I don't know.
Whatever the fuck it is. Yeah, vulnerability they don't want to put out there.
Yeah.
So there is a loss, but for some people like us, while it does kind of still have those things as a back burner fear or like whatever, it lingers, the risk is worth it, I guess. So it's still a risk to us, but it's worth it, I guess.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I think you're right. I think anything can be a risk for like different people. Like
Yeah.
this isn't a risk to us because we're like, we have a lot to say. I don't give a shit. Who knows? Really kind of thing, you know? But
Yeah.
like somebody who's like a public figure, if they don't want to have such a like in-depth conversation or vulnerable conversation, they might just fucking talk about just something like easier for them. You know what I mean?
How-to tips. I don't know.
Yeah. I think it just like, it's like everyone can have different types of risks. That sounds like so silly. Like going back to that, knowing whether or not something felt good or bad, like when you're taking the risk or like knowing you're taking a risk. It's great that you still go for it, even though when it feels bad. I take that as like intuition of like, you're gonna be miserable.
I'm just like, but what's the worst gonna happen, I guess?
No, that's true though.
But also, it depends. Like, I won't take risks that, like, are actually life-threatening. Like, swimming with sharks. Not really something I want to do in my life. Skydiving. Not something I'm really dying to do. There's, like, things that I'm like, that's a risk I am cool not doing. But some people are thrill seekers, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So for them,
They
it's
love
worth
to do
it.
that. I do think that like also having that mentality of like, what's the worst that can happen? I mean, for those people, it's like, I die, so what? You know what I mean?
That's pretty bad, but
maybe not for them though. They're just like,
they said it was worth it.
It was my time, you know?
Yeah, I guess.
But like looking at like other situations, whether that's like in love or like career, like doing those, having that mindset, it's kind of, I will move forward. I will find something else in both situations.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
And again, it's just going back to like that faith that you have within either yourself or like your higher power, that like, you know, you're taken care of, you're being guided like 100% of the way.
I feel like, I mean, so do you personally feel like in general you won't take a risk if you have like a bad feeling, like a spooky feeling about it?
Yes. And I think at that point I don't feel like that I guess it's still a risk, but I just know like that my decision, because this is what I was saying, like when you're taking a risk, not doing the thing is still taking a risk. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
So for example, like a while back, I was supposed to do this job, and the whole time I just had like nothing but anxiety. And it's not because like I didn't want to do it, like I didn't want to go because I was scared that something bad was going to happen or anything like that. I just like genuinely did not feel good about it. I felt like sick in my body, and me not going or saying that I can't do it anymore definitely could have, like, the risk there was me like cutting off that connection that I was like making. Or if I went, I would also risk the fact that I could be miserable and like get sick or like have a panic attack. You know what I mean? So I think it was a toss up either way. But yeah, me not going, I was just like, I'd rather take the risk of like losing this connection and moving forward with my life without it than taking the risk and getting ill. Like, which one's worse? You kind of like, you know?
Yeah, like they're both a risk.
Yeah.
Just like, there's so many risks you can take in life. It's insane.
I think every decision could be a risk, maybe.
Not that. I feel like being in our 20s, in our mid-20s, feels like, oh my god, we're so fucking old. Like, I need to have my life together and constant and blah, blah, blah. But in reality, I feel like this, like, 20s is the time to be taking a lot of risks and more risks. Because, I don't know, majority of us are in, like, either single or, like, serious relationships. Or, I mean, some people are in, like, toxic relationships. But, like, most of us are still, like, able to be selfish to a degree, I guess, in your 20s. Obviously, some people have kids in their 20s, etc., etc. But majority of us, I feel like, have a lot of freedom with our time and our choices. So, like, why wouldn't you decide to just put yourself out there now? Like, go do the thing that you've been saying since you were little that you wanted to do. Like, how we were saying in the last episode, like, oh, I wanted to be a dancer, I wanted to be a singer, I wanted to be a model, I want to do all this stuff. And, like, why have you never done that? Like, easily you could have tried doing that when you were younger because there was literally no risk. I mean, not literally, but, you know.
Yeah.
It was a little bit easier probably because there was no pressures of like, is it going to make me money? Is it going to be like enough to survive off of? Is it like this, and that? So now that there's a little bit of that pressure, it's a little harder, but it's still a lot easier than when you're in your 30s with a whole family or a mortgage or whatever the fucking case is. If you're planning to follow, I guess, a fairly traditional life path. But yeah, like, go buy a van and live in it for 2 years. Who the hell cares? You know? Like, I feel like our generation is very much on board with the idea of taking risks and doing shit like that because of van life. Like, I feel like so many people have quit their job to be, like, YouTubers and do van life and make content.
The content creators, yeah.
Yeah, being content creators is so much... has made taking risks easier because people enjoy watching that. Yeah. So if you can do it from your own phone, you don't need a TV show and a fucking producer to follow you around. People are just so intrigued.
Yeah, I think, like, accessibility has made definitely, like, a calculated risk a lot easier because I feel like there's, like, risks that, like, are dangerous where, like, people have, like, rent to pay and, like, bills to pay. Yeah. And I'm not saying you should take a risk where, like, you feel completely, like, out of whack and you don't have anything to, like, land on. Mm-hmm. But I think also, like, it's so heavily ingrained to us that we need to have, like, a steady income and a family by the time, like, we hit 30, just because that's how, like, other generations have worked. But I think, yeah, like we're all on the same page now that we also just like want to like live life and value like happiness. And I think that that's such a hot commodity that it's so easily, now we can all just kind of, and with the help of our phones and computers and Wi-Fi, like I think we can all share those values and make money off of that. Obviously, like we can't really escape like capitalism fully, but like
it's kind of can be a content creator.
Yeah. So it definitely has been made a lot easier to do those risks if like that's the type of way you want to go. But like that's not everybody's like type of risk that they're trying to do. You know what I mean?
It could just be switching industries.
Yeah.
Like at 40 or something, which
or not even 40, but now, like if somebody's been working for the last 4 years and like they've been promoted 3 times or twice, like, and they decide that they don't want to do that anymore, having to go into a different industry, you might take the risk of like making less money, but you might be happier, you know? Yeah. I think like we should all really take a look at the things that make us feel like most happy and joyous, and then like not necessarily take like a calculated risk where you can like dip your toes in like situations that you might feel can lean more into a career. I'm also like, does everything have to, because we're very like heavily talking about career, does like everything that you want to be doing need to be a career? Because I feel like that's where a lot of people lose like their joy and love for things when it becomes like something that they do for money. So I don't know.
I mean, it can be, but I guess, is it a risk to pick up a new hobby? I guess it could be to some people.
Yeah, I don't know.
It could be. Yeah, I mean, up to the individual, I guess. But even if the risk is picking up the hobby and you have no intention of it becoming your career, shit, you took a risk and it turned into your career. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like all of a sudden people love what you're doing and now you can make money from it, which is sort of like a beautiful little outcome of that risk. But
I think like overall, most of us only hear about when the risk pays off. I'm wondering if that just is like almost truth, that like it almost always pays off. And like that's, if you're looking at it from like a probability stance, like you're just like, why not? I should fucking take it because my chances are higher. But then you look at it from like a 50-50 and you're like, eh.
Yeah, I feel like probability of risk is probably 50-50, right?
I think for the situation itself, yes, but I'm wondering if like in a test of like 10 people who took risks, you know what I mean? Like would it still be 50-50, or would it be like,
well, no, I mean if it was like 3 ended up good, it'd be like 30% is positive.
Me not knowing how probability works.
I think, I don't know. Like I could be wrong.
Yeah.
I'm terrible at math.
I mean, just to say, like, I think risk taking can be small or big. Like, it doesn't have to be the largest, like, change in industry or change of job, or like you completely like.
It could just be trying something.
Yeah,
it doesn't have to be like fully making a life change flip.
It's like you maybe you saw like a sign for some type of group that you can, you know, maybe find community in, and you're like, I'm really like not sure if I want to go. Take the risk in going. Maybe you have a fucking whole new chosen family.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. I feel like it's like the small things like that in your youth will change, I mean forever, but will forever change like the trajectory of your life, which is crazy to think about. Like if you just sit at home, I mean even if you're at home on your phone, there's even like the convenience of taking risks on your phone, I guess, and DMing someone or whatever. But if you do just sort of like live your life on like with blinders on, and you just live the life you know and don't try anything different, that's like an okay way to live your life. But I personally feel like taking risks and trying new things and putting yourself out there is like, I don't know, a way more exciting way to live.
I personally think it's the only way to live. It's just like, I think for me personally, the what if would literally haunt me. You know,
like if you have a strong desire to do something.
I feel like I would probably get over it over time. Like, why, you know, when I'm fucking 50 or something, I'll be like,
no,
it's a little late, but like,
here's a good example of us. We were at the Glendale, the Americana. We were at the Americana and we saw Nick Viall and his girlfriend. And if you guys don't know who that is, it's like a podcaster we listen to, and he was an ex-bachelor, blah, 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 whatever. we love his podcast, and we see them just walking past us like beautiful little Amazon like couple, and we just like didn't say anything, and the risk there would have been looking stupid, I guess, and like the reward would have been so much bigger. Like we clearly should have chosen the reward side of that risk, but we just did nothing.
Yeah, like
We didn't take the risk.
see, look at that situation. There's a lot of opportunity that we literally lost because we didn't take the risks.
Yeah.
So
And the risk was looking stupid. That was it. Or making someone else uncomfortable, I guess. Like making them feel uncomfortable. But I don't think they would have.
No.
Idiots. Next time we're gonna hang around
Y'all
Glendale.
are clearly around there for a reason. That's true. I think like again, like there's just so much that can come out of you just making a decision to go for it. And then I'm like, at the same time, like I'm so happy with the decisions that I've made when I didn't go and do some things. Like that loss of risk also can pay off, if that makes sense. Like
I don't trust it now, but maybe. I hear you. No, I'm serious. Like, yeah.
Like sure, I could have like made some new friends, which is cool. Or like
got some advice on podcasting.
Yeah. It's just, I mean, I'm not necessarily with that one. I'm just saying like with other decisions I've made, like I'm fine. I'm okay with what's happened. But at the same time, like I would wish that like I just like fucking threw myself into everything, but I feel like that's also impossible. And sometimes I don't feel like it's worth the risk to maybe put myself that in a so uncomfortable place. Like I think, how would you like, or how do you always just take the risk?
Me? Well, clearly not. I didn't do it.
You're right. But
so not always. Like,
how do you decide when it's like fitting versus not fitting for you to take the risk?
Sometimes it's just all about my mood, to be honest.
I think that's me too.
Like if I don't know. I guess if my mood had been different in some way, I might have been like, "Hi."
I also think like there's a difference when like feeling like emotionally, like there's a feeling that you have when you're risk taking, like
an intuition.
Yeah, like is it nervousness or are you definitely just like not feeling good and anxious? You know what I mean?
I think a lot of the time it's just like
nervousness.
Yeah.
But I think
especially with quick things like that, you know? Like
if
you have a lot of time, I can see anxiety building and whatever, but like yeah.
So do you think it's just like time though?
I feel like more time would have been worse. Like in that specific scenario, like if we had seen them, they posted they were there, and then we saw where they were, like I'm gonna go up to them and be like, hi. Feel stalkery at that point.
Yeah.
You know, like in that specific scenario. But maybe like in general time, well, yeah, because then it's more calculated. It's a calculated risk, and calculated risks feel safer.
Yeah.
So to a degree, yeah, time and like your mood can change whether you want to take that small risk.
Yeah, I would pay attention to how the things that you're risking make you feel. Mm-hmm. If you're genuinely just like a little bit nervous and it's just like, I don't know, like how I'm gonna feel. This is new. Whatever. Yeah, that's fine. But if you're completely just like anxious, mortified, and like genuinely not feeling good, I think you should maybe let it pass. Maybe the risk wasn't worth it, or like you're risking now to lose the other side of that opportunity, but.
Right.
Whatever.
Thinking like maybe that awful date I went on, like maybe I was feeling like not good about it. Like this is gonna be bad. And then I went on it and it was bad. So like the risk really wasn't worth it. It's a good story though. You know, like I went for it and it's a good story now. But yeah. But like, I don't know, that's life, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes the risk pans out and sometimes the risk is just a story.
Sometimes it is.
Sometimes it's more than a story, but you know, that is just the crazy part of life, is that you're gonna have so many experiences and so many fucking choices to make every single day, which is crazy.
Absolutely.
But back to being in your 20s, I guess, and taking risks. I think our advice is just to fucking do it. Take the risk.
Take the risk. I just saw a video yesterday. I forgot her name on TikTok. But it's this girl was like, it was talking about what we were talking about in the last episode about like grinding and like how being busy is just like not it. She was like, grinding in my 20s, not for me. She said, that might be for some of you, but not for me.
No.
My 20s are to live my life, have fun, and be pretty. And I was just like, that is so funny.
Period.
But also, like, when else are you
I'm
going
gonna
to
tell my parents that. Next time they ask me what my life plan is, I'm gonna be like, grinding
have fun
is not for me. I'm gonna have fun, look pretty, and live my life. You're gonna be like, she's gone fucking
She's
crazy.
gone crazy. But
You said, but true.
But true. Like, when else are you going to be this young? Never. Literally never again.
On my parents' dime, too.
Not
Just
that
kidding.
far. I mean, if that's you currently right now, also, maybe or maybe not milk it.
Maybe,
I don't fucking know.
Yeah, maybe milk it / find a sugar daddy.
Girl, giving really risque.
Hey, take the risk. Depending on the risk. Talk to us about it. We'll give you a risk assessment for free.
Risk consultation. Yeah, I think you just, like, will never be this age again. And
Yeah.
I think the what ifs, like I said, will literally fucking haunt you. So
It's literally so exciting to never be this young again. Isn't it kind of exciting? Do I sound crazy? You're looking at me with shock.
I don't know if I like that, but, like, I don't know. I'm also really excited for my 30s, and I have been since I was, like, 15. So
I mean, true. 13 going on 30, but I don't know.
I don't know if that was the reason why. I just always wanted to be 30.
30, 30.
It just felt like I was finally gonna know who I was a little bit more, I guess. And now, like, that I'm 5 years away, I'm like, am I gonna know that though?
I don't know if we're ever gonna know fully.
I don't think so either. But
never.
I think that a lot of people say that, like, the 20s are so uncomfortable. And that's another thing. Your 20s are so uncomfortable in terms of, like, getting to know who you are, getting to know, like, how you fit in the world, that, like, right now is the time to take risks so that you understand
Yourself
better and whether or not, like, some things work out for you, you know?
Yeah.
It's like, just try it. Taking risks sometimes is just trying. Just fucking go and try those things.
Yeah. I was gonna say, I mean, I think risks, obviously we can be like dangerous risks, scary risks, but I think majority of our audience, like, overall, you guys are smart enough to know to not just fucking do something stupid. And if you need some advice on that, maybe hit us up. But yeah, I think it's just more about, like, wanting to try something different, quitting your job and traveling because you have the savings to do it. And when else are you gonna fucking do that again? Or travel abroad and work abroad, or, like, I don't know, just live somewhere for a year. Like, when else are you gonna be able to do that? Or starting a new class or hobby. Like, you're gonna have to start penciling shit in soon, okay? Like, hey, I'm gonna, like, we're already penciling friends in. Like, oh, are you free this weekend? No, next weekend. So
And only it's gonna get worse.
Yeah, imagine with children or a really intense career or whatever the case. Like, pick up that pottery class.
Listen, life will continue to go on, and you also need to keep moving and trucking along. If you're not happy with something, change it. Literally, that is it.
Yeah.
Like, you're living this life once. Why be so afraid of possibility, you know? There's no reason you need to be that unhappy, especially if it's things that you can change and are in your control,
Yeah.
which most things are.
A risk when the reward is ultimate happiness is probably always worth taking, honestly.
Oh yeah.
Like, yeah, you might not like it, but then you can just take another risk and maybe you'll like that one better.
I know, I think we're like saying, like, you can be very happy from taking risks. Also, just know that, like, when you take those risks and those, like, initial happiness comes in, like, I think you also are still, like, living life, and it will be hard sometimes, but, like, that's why you just continue to learn and, like, change the situations that make you feel better so that you have an ultimately, like, not stable, but just, like, I don't know how to explain, like, just an uplifting life that makes you feel good.
I will say, also, like how you're saying spirituality, you know, will help you through risks. I feel like also just not necessarily knowing who you are, because, like we said, it's probably, like, a lifelong process of knowing who you are, but, like, knowing that you are doing something that you want to do, like, having full control over yourself, I feel like is also reassuring in taking risks. Like, I knew I wanted to do that and I did my best. If it didn't pan out, okay, like, whatever, now I'm on to the next thing. Or, like, you know, because I feel like the risk side of it actually going bad is obviously what keeps people from doing a risk, taking a risk. So it's like, if you know in yourself, like, I can move on from that and I can be strong through it, then it's not really as scary.
Yeah.
It's like, it is what it is.
I think that like risk taking is something that is very in line with, I guess, with that saying that of like failing forward, of like not being scared of failure, because failure just teaches you constantly like what you are about, like what you like and who you are, like to a core. And like although like taking a risk and failing is definitely like a high probability, that's also comforting that like you might just like once you do it, you might know whether or not that this is meant for you. You know,
It's like it's
immediate like, oh, this feels fucking great, I'm gonna continue to do this because it's making me happy, or wow, that really fucking sucked, I'm never doing that again,
or I'm gonna do it better next time, like I'm gonna figure out what it takes to be better at it or whatever. I mean, this is like very vague, so it could be anything.
Oh, I see what you're saying, like in failing.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's not I think like it going
poorly,
well I think it's also like on mindset, like in that case if you're failing in a way that like,
okay, let me give my example.
I get what you're saying.
You say it?
But what I'm saying is like in that case you wouldn't say like that was awful, I'm gonna try again. You're just gonna say I really liked that even though I didn't do well, but I'm gonna try it again. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not like that fucking sucked, I'm gonna try again. Like there's only two ways to look at it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, it's not like
that's
a
what
failure. It's more like I mean, it can still be a failure, but it's
then it wasn't a failure then because you liked the activity or whatever it is that you're doing.
Okay, let me give the example. So like this modeling thing. Let's say I go and I fucking like just fuck it up or something. I trip, I fall, my gloves are wrong, no one's wearing gloves but me, like I don't know, just everything goes wrong. You know, technically it's like a failure to that event. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. That I went to. But like, if I still was like, I still want to do it though, I'm just going to do it better.
But at that point, it wouldn't be like you failed at like what you did. And instead it would be like, I really, like you would have had to take a part of that situation that you liked in order to keep going. You can't completely like fail at something and be like, I'm gonna do it again, you know, and like hate. Yeah, what I'm trying to say is like you can't fail and hate what you're doing, and do it again. I think it would be more of like I failed, but I really took something from there, so I'm gonna do it again.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean there
has to be like that.
That's what I'm saying. It's still kind of a little bit of a failure, but like not an epic fail or whatever. Remember that shit? Anyways,
I think if you try and you take something positive from it, even though if like you feel like overall you messed up or whatever, I think that's still like a positive. Like you're still like, yeah, all right, that's definitely like, something I want to keep trying.
I mean, like you said, no matter what decision you make, it can be a risk, and no matter how you leave the situation, it could be positive or negative.
Yeah.
Even if the risk was positive, you could still be like, not doing that again. You said it went well, but I didn't like it.
I did not like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think like one overarching message that I think this one might be like my last thought, but you can definitely add anything else. This is also to myself, like stop waiting for the perfect moment to take those risks. Just do it.
Period.
You know, there's nothing that you should be waiting for necessarily. Right. Any time is the right time. Let's just say that.
Me just thinking about our pottery class in the back of my head, but we're doing it in September. Like it's happening.
That's like different though. That's not really a risk. That's like something we know we want to do.
Okay, yeah, that's true.
We took the risk in going to class.
Okay.
Yeah.
But either way,
I got a pink bowl out of it.
That's a whole other story. We should take it back when we do the classes and like, reglaze it.
Excuse me, why was this pink?
We should just dip it again. Anyways. Yeah, I think the overall message is just take the risk. Do the thing. If you're in your 20s like us, then now's the time. Prime time. Do it. No idea what we're talking about in Glowing Hour. Love that for us. But we're having Dirty Shirley's.
We're very excited about them.
Okay, bye.
Bye. All right, we are back. Like we said, we have some Dirty Shirley's.
I love that name.
Also, I think like the glass is an entire vibe for it.
Yeah, it is.
It's so good. So basically what's in it, I mean, you can find the recipe, but because we're so excited about this one, I will talk about it. It is 2 ounces of vodka, 1 ounce of grenadine, which is basically syrup.
Yeah.
Like strawberry syrup? What kind of syrup? Does grenadine have alcohol? No.
I think no. Maybe cherry syrup?
I think it's cherry syrup.
No, that's amaretto. I don't know. Couldn't tell you.
Some type of syrup. And then you do some Sprite or like 7-Up.
It said lemon lime soda.
Lemon flavored soda water or soda.
Mm-hmm.
And then a little fun cherry.
It's basically all sugar.
All sugar and vodka.
Yes. Let's try it.
Let's try it.
Wow. That takes me back.
To what?
Like Virgin Shirley Temples.
I love Virgin Shirley Temples.
I would order them all the time, specifically at, oh my god, I just almost poured it. Specifically at Benihana's. Anybody? Anybody?
Me, not the same drink, but me at fucking Cancun when I would have like a wristband for like all-inclusive places.
You said,
but
I'm gonna have that.
please. I would always get like daiquiris, like
Ooh,
over and over again.
Yeah.
Virgin ones, obviously.
I'm like, can I get a virgin sex on the beach?
They're like, huh?
They said,
They said, give me a virgin margarita, please.
I mean, virgin cocktails are pretty much just like sugar.
It's just sugar and soda.
Love that. Mocktails, who knew?
Who knew them? I was ahead of the trend.
Yeah, for real. This is good though.
Anyways, this is
nostalgic. Bomb. Yeah, I would never order this though. I don't think.
I think I would.
You think? I'm like Dirty Shirley, light on the grenadine. You know,
dirty Shirley, but make it more dirty than Shirley.
Exactly.
So
I'm excited for the cherry at the end.
Me
but
too.
We'll all be patient.
Like staring at it.
Like I can't wait for you.
So we decided that we are going to go over our risque
choices
in life that either paid off or didn't. So let's start off like we're gonna only like really do like shit when we met, I guess, because then like what the fuck are we talking about?
Yeah. Let's just keep it relevant to now. Okay, picking your college. Deciding to go to college, let alone pick which one, but that's a risk. I want to say I was between UC Irvine. Pretty sure I got into UC Irvine, Cal State Fullerton, and then Cal State Long Beach, which is where I ultimately ended up going. But yeah, I think any choice I made would have been a risk. Like Fullerton, I still would have commute. Irvine, maybe I would have moved. I don't know.
I think you probably would have.
Yeah, which like, whoa, that would have been so crazy.
Is that crazy? Like you probably would be not like a whole different person.
I would be though.
But you would be.
I really would be. Ugh, weird.
I think maybe like you wouldn't have stayed with
me?
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I probably wouldn't have.
I think like that would have ended a lot sooner.
And like I knew one person that went to Irvine. I know there's more people, but I knew of one person that was like a year ahead of me that went to Irvine, and I was kind of like,
you're interesting.
I said,
we could get to know each other.
We could vibe, but obviously Long Beach was the right choice because I wouldn't have probably met Mel. I mean, at least
this one probably have existed.
Yeah, to this extent anyway. I mean, we still maybe would have met through Victoria at some point to some degree, but obviously we wouldn't have gone as close as we did, as fast as we did.
Right.
So yeah, this probably wouldn't have existed.
So paid off.
So the risk paid off.
Yeah, similarly to you, like I think I got into Irvine and I was like, I'm not going there. My brother went there, so I just wanted to be different. It's so annoying.
Yes.
It was a great school. I don't know what the fuck my problem was. I think also just like demographic wise, I didn't feel like I would vibe.
It's a lot of white people over there.
It's a lot of white people. It's more of just
we're not saying anything against these people.
No.
We're just saying.
I just feel like I grew up predominantly in like a Latino like community.
You enjoyed that.
And I think I just wanted some more diversity a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I also like, I don't necessarily like enjoy OC that much. And I think even then I was like, meh, you know?
Yeah.
So I got into that school. That was not really an option for me because I was like,
just did it to do it.
Yeah. Just because like I was like, I can get into the school my brother went to.
For real.
And honestly, like I went under like neuroscience.
That's pretty crazy. Yeah.
So it was pretty nuts. And then I got into Santa Barbara, which I really wanted to go to since I was like in middle school. Mm-hmm. And that was like my old dream school. So that's why I applied, but I didn't really want to go there anymore. The one I was really banking on was UCLA and I got waitlisted. And so that was like its own risk journey.
You could have just waited.
Yeah.
Oh, that's risky.
Because I was waiting to hear back from them when I decided to go, I guess.
Yeah,
to Long Beach.
committed.
And then I didn't apply to Fullerton. So it was either like basically waiting on UCLA or going to Long Beach or Santa Barbara. And I high-key chose Long Beach, but like really, really wanted to go to Santa Barbara after I already said yes to Long Beach. And I even was like emailing like people.
You said, can I take
said,
it back?
I'm so sorry, can I take it back? And they're basically like, no, you need to reapply next like semester, which like I think I would have gotten in, but
Well, yeah, but
at that point,
wouldn't you have lost a year?
yeah. So I think like I'm saying, like all of the risks and all of the losses are like meant to be, but like
Yeah.
at that point they're pretty big. At that point, I could have always gone back to Santa Barbara, which I was like really thinking about. I was gonna be like, I'm gonna pay less for 2 semesters at Long Beach and then head over to,
Right.
Anyway, so then when I heard back from Santa Barbara, from UCLA, I was like, fuck it, I'm just gonna go to Long Beach. Like, it doesn't matter. And then also, never admitted this, but somebody I was talking to at the time was telling me that that's probably a better idea, not because of them, and just because of like the school.
Like Long Beach?
Yeah, because like I guess like the other place was like a party school, and like
Oh yeah.
it's just different. And I think I really took that advice into consideration, and I was like, yeah, whatever, And so then like I had made my own plans that I was gonna go to Long Beach and then transfer over to either Santa Barbara or UCLA. That didn't end up happening.
You just didn't?
I think I got lazy and I was like, fuck it, I'm comfortable here.
You said this is nice.
No risk taken there, you know what I mean?
You said, nah, I'm gonna stay.
But I think like that was the risk, that I was like probably not gonna ever go to the other schools again, because I chose Long Beach. But yeah, again, like I wouldn't have met you. I mean, maybe like to the extent that we know each other.
Yeah, right.
So a lot of this probably wouldn't have happened. So that's
crazy.
crazy. Literally, like life choices really steer you, dude, in some direction or the other. It's fucking crazy.
I want to know, I like wish we could all see like if we had taken different paths and choices, where we'd be in our lives. Like if I had decided to go to fucking Irvine or something, or if I should have applied to Santa Barbara. What was I doing? I think my boyfriend was holding me back. Not like him personally, like he did anything, but I just...
You were so comfortable with him that you wanted to,
I wanted to stay close. Stupid.
It's okay. I
a risk
admitted
not
to that
taken.
shit. Yeah, too. Like, not like necessarily wanting to stay for this person, but this person was like also in love with Long Beach, and I was like, you're right, it is kind of a good school.
You said, yeah, I go there.
I'm gonna
Do
go.
you?
Do you yet?
No. I do though.
So yeah, I mean, whatever.
Hey, Long Beach is a lot of people's dream schools.
That's also like, I kept telling myself that. I'm like, well, I got in, so.
I got into Fullerton and some people at my high school didn't, and I was like, wow.
Yeah.
I'm not sure why though. I mean, it also does depend on majors and stuff.
It
like
does.
that.
It does.
Not to like shit on anybody. I'm just saying. It all depends.
I will.
No, don't say
Every
it.
day I regret. Just kidding.
What do you regret?
The fact that I fucking did neuroscience to try to get into UCLA. I literally swear if I just did something business or like even not, if I did animation, just something.
Was that even on your radar?
Something random. No.
Oh,
but
right.
That was like,
that's the secret to get in.
That's the secret to get in.
You pick a non-impacted major.
Right. Yeah. My teacher, my ceramics teacher told me that, and I still was like, nah, I'm smart enough and whatever.
You're annoying for that.
I'm so annoying for that. I just had
Hey, but you got waitlisted.
You were on
the list.
Yeah.
You were on the list.
Some list.
I was fully denied. If it makes you feel any better.
I'm gonna cry, dude. It's still my dream school, and I'm like 25 years
You can
old.
get your master's there.
Yeah, that might be an
Why is
option.
that a bad thing?
It's not. I'll be sad if I like apply again. They're like, nah.
Nah, I think they'd say yes.
We'll see.
Anyways.
Well, anyway, that was one.
Yeah, that's...
I would say paid off.
That's like a big high school time of year risk.
If you're in that time right now,
and you have a boyfriend or a girlfriend,
don't fucking listen to them. Or even like a suitor. Just say...
A suitor!
Don't even give a shit. Just, what do you want to do?
Yeah, where do you see yourself?
But if you make that wrong decision, just know it's the right decision still.
Yeah, and like, to be fair... We went with our guts, and that was what was right. Like, if you genuinely feel like, I love this person, I want to see how it works out, then period, you're not going to regret it.
Yeah, but I still advise you not to do it.
I still advise you not to listen to your gut on that one, though. He probably isn't the love of your life, but maybe.
But maybe.
We don't know.
We have no clue.
And if they are the love of your life, low-key, they'll wait for you.
That's...
Not wait, but, you know, they'll
You'll
do
come
long
back
distance
together.
or
You'll come
whatever.
back together, yeah. But I also just, like, applaud you. Like, it's hard work. It's really hard work to do all that, like, school...
It's a risk.
application.
Yeah.
Another risk. I would say choosing my major in business, because like I just said, like I was doing neuroscience and I didn't want to do chemistry, but like I felt very comfortable with like the trajectory of what my life could be in terms of like a medical student, you know? Mm-hmm. Like I'd live comfortably.
Liked that? Oh, you mean just financially?
Yeah, like financially, I was like, I'm gonna be set. You know what I mean? Like the work's gonna be hard, but I'm gonna be set.
Nice.
And then I was like, but I'm a creative person.
You said, but.
So the risk was like taking a creative route to working. Also, I think like not everybody in my family, but my brothers definitely saw like me choosing marketing as a dumb decision and like a risky decision as a major. It's kind of like, what the fuck are you gonna do with that? You know what I mean?
Though like
and I'm like, marketing's in everything. And now like I still say that marketing is in everything. So fuck off.
To be fair, yeah, you need a doctor more than you need someone who specializes in marketing.
Right. But the tools that your doctor's using, somebody is selling those. So just so you know.
Just so you're aware.
Just so you're aware, business.
Marketing's touching that shit.
That's all I gotta say. So anyway, that was a risk. But like, again, that has led me to discovering myself as a creative, as a person, and like just fully like enjoying like what I would have seen as like guilty pleasures before, as like a full-on career now.
Yeah. And I think you also just meet people in your classes that you vibe with, professors that you run across.
Oh, it just goes on and on.
Yes. Going off professors. Another huge risk we took is starting a brand with a professor.
Yeah.
Which it didn't feel risky at the time. So, you know, it was kind of just like for shits and gigs, but we were taking it full serious and it felt like our professor was. But, you know, it just didn't work out. That's how that risk panned out.
Yeah, it's just like a lot of unwarranted trust, you know?
Yeah.
In somebody else who
we just hadn't seen on that side of them.
Yeah.
Because it was mostly like a power position dynamic versus like partnership.
Right. So that didn't pan out.
Yeah.
And that's fine. I think we also like just really learned the values that we carry and the values that we want in other people who work with us. And then also we just like learned a lot, like in terms of like how to create a brand from scratch, kind of, you know?
Yeah. And like that we are capable of like designing and creating and pushing something cool.
Desirable things, yeah.
And things that we're not good at. We learned things that we're like,
that's true.
I
think we also like learned a lot about what we seek from like mentorship and what we want in that kind of a sense, you know? Mm-hmm. Although that you can call that a failure, there came a lot of like learnings and a lot of like reassurance in a sense of knowing that we want our own brand, our own business, our own things to thrive.
I mean, going off of that, another risk, investing money into this next business that we want to start. It could be nothing. It could turn out to be nothing, but
it could be nothing.
It could also, same as the last brand, teach us a lot. Or 3, ideally, it could be a big success.
It's a really 50-50 right now.
Yeah, that's a risk that we're in the middle of.
But I think like if we didn't take those previous risks and like understanding how we feel about them while they're happening, I think we wouldn't have known that we wanted to start our new product brand, you know. And I think now that that's happening, like it feels exciting still, and it doesn't feel like scary. Should we do this, you know what I mean? Like it's actually something that
it's an exciting risk.
Yeah, we're also like willing to take any consequences that come from the risk, you know, like that it could not work out.
Yeah, I dyed my hair red. That was a huge risk for me. I was scared as shit, you guys. I was like, my hair is virgin, basically. If you count sun-in, then yeah, I've used sun-in. And lemon juice in my hair. Like, way too much. Like, a lot. But, yeah, that was scary as shit. You know, and the reward was people telling me that it looked good.
And the reward was validation.
And the reward was literally validation. People telling me, oh my god, you look so good with that hair color. And I'm like, period. So I'm dyeing it again tonight.
In terms of like love, I feel like I have done some risque things in terms of like the people that I've chosen, like knowing that they're kind of bad for me.
Yeah.
But I think that when I look at the trajectory of like those relationships in my life, I think it's not only has given me perspective and a lot of like teachable moments, but it's also very much like led me to meet like the next person and the next person, you know, like I think from one in specific, I actually, if you want to go real back from the first one, I like sort of like met the next person, and then from then it just kind of like taught me about my self-worth. And then I met this next person, and this next person had introduced me to the friend group that I had for a really long time. And then from those friends, I had closer relationships to those people, like certain people, and they're now like my best friends. And like from them, I've just like continuously have known more and more people. So it's just like it's a gift that keeps on fucking giving. And one of those people that I kept like meeting, or like that I continued on to meet, is Logan. And I think that that's like the most it just panned out so well for me. That was a risk that was very much like,
even at the beginning,
taking.
You starting to date her was risky for you.
That too.
So
that it just like you can't be afraid. I think the one thing that I'm really proud of myself is that I've never been really like scared to take risks in love. Like I just do it because I think I'm pretty fearless about like whether or not I'm gonna get hurt. Yeah,
I feel like I'm the same.
And it's not a bad thing. It's just more of like, you know, you'll fucking move on. You know what I mean?
I think it's only a bad thing if I were to run it back the way I did for 6 years, multiple times. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like we gotta hold a time.
You gotta hold the time. You gotta like hold a boundary.
There's gotta be like a that's enough.
Yeah.
Which I think I've found that, but yeah, I agree. I feel like I take risks in love. Even like high school or like middle school, I always liked someone that probably wasn't good for me.
Same.
And it just
fucking same.
Yeah. A risk in a new job, you don't really have control over that. Like you do to an extent, but like someone else has to decide they like you enough or whatever.
That's true.
But in a relationship, I feel like, at least for us, the ball has been in our court in these risky situations, you know? So it's kind of like I have control whether I stay with
around,
you,
yeah,
or not. So that's why the risk never really felt like, I don't know, that risky, because I always knew I had control at the end of the day. You know what I mean? Like I could walk away whenever.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's why taking risks in love is easier, at least to us. But I don't know. I mean, it's still scary to get hurt, but it's also like, I'm not that scared to get hurt when I've been hurt as I've been. Like, it's like, okay, one up 'em, I dare you.
Try it.
But I mean, it's possible. I'll say that much. But
yeah, I definitely agree. Yeah.
This is not part of the topic, but I am curious, like, do you think people attract certain people because they're putting out bad energy? Or do you think they attract certain types of people just because that's who they are? Like they're nurturing people, or, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or are they putting out energy like, I want to fix you energy?
I think that as humans who are like souls that have like trauma and stuff, I think we definitely, I don't necessarily want to say that you put energy out, but I think it's more, I mean, it is that. But what I'm trying to say is like certain traumas can cause you to have certain like needs per se. So for someone who's been like abandoned or like being hurt by parental figures or things like that, I think it definitely manifests in wanting to fix people or have them in the case of like wanting them to stay,
or wanting people that fix people. Like
you're saying like the vice versa.
Like even if you had abandonment issues, but you look for someone that's like very nurturing because you never had that, right? You know what I mean?
So I think it's a little of energetic, like what you're putting out.
Yeah, risk and love were big ones on that, I guess.
Yep.
Hasn't panned out for me yet.
Girl, if you want to look at the trajectory of mine, you got one or two more you gotta risk out.
I don't know, man. There was 3 in high school. And I'm good with that. Anyway.
Risks.
What about tattoos?
Ooh, that's a good one. I think, yeah, you always can have the risk of like not fucking liking the work at the end.
That's scary, dude.
As much as like you can plan and like choose the artist that you want, I think like that artist could have a bad day.
All of a sudden they got a stroke.
All of a sudden their hand is cramping.
Ooh.
I don't know. Like it could go bad. I will say, like, for example, my best friend and I, Jen, got like matching arm tattoos of like this cute little moon that kind of reminds us of the moon in like Loteria with like some sparkles and whatever. Mm-hmm. And I will say, like, our moons look similar but not the same.
Really?
But we both each like really identify with the small changes that she made for each arm. So it's just interesting. But imagine if I was like, I fucking don't like that mine doesn't look like yours. Like, I'd be so unhappy. You know what I mean? So like, you're really taking the risk. And for example, I mean, also with tattoos, you can't see it, I'm pulling my sleeve up, but I feel like you kind of just have to be happy with what you fucking get.
Okay.
At least for that moment. Like, obviously,
Like
you can
in the moment.
Yeah, you can always get it fixed or removed. That's painful. But like, for example, mine, I have one that says Godspeed, and like it's kind of fading at the end, and it always was. And I like sat there and like looked at it for a long time. I'm like, do I like that it's doing that? And then I don't know if I tricked myself or what, but like I really enjoy that it feels like it's fading, because then it's like the sentiment almost goes with like what's happening visually with the tattoo.
Do you think it's ever gonna like
Bother me?
go away? No, like fade completely.
No. It's like still a dark line. It just looks like light gray versus like dark gray. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And then my butterfly, I hardly ever see that bitch, so I don't really know.
I hardly ever see that bitch.
Just
Is that
back
the
there.
secret? Just put it somewhere you can't see.
Yeah,
And
maybe.
then you'll never regret
Maybe you'll
it.
just never run it.
Love that.
I'm also like, I feel like I'm just kind of a no regrets type girl, even though
regrets.
I said like the whole UCLA thing, like obviously my life panned out the way that it's supposed to. I don't know. I just feel like although this is very permanent, like tattoos are permanent, they're also not. My arm can get like, I don't want to say
Okay,
that.
chill out.
I was gonna say some dark
Stopping you right now.
I was just gonna say I can get it removed.
Yeah, that's what you were gonna say. You're right. Sometimes we have a dark humor and it needs to chill out. But whatever.
So, yeah, tattoos not a huge risk in my opinion.
Mm.
You can say I take like fashion risks sometimes, not really. I bought some boots in Mexico City. The point was very interesting for me.
The point? Like the
Like the
point of the
tip?
shoe?
Yeah,
Okay.
the
I was
tip
like,
of the
the
shoe, like
point
where your
of
toes
buying
go?
it or what? I was like, what do you mean?
The tip of the shoe like is squared but also very, very long and
Like
pointy.
ski?
Mm-hmm. And I was like, see, I don't know if I enjoy that. And then I was like, you know what, fuck it, I gotta get them. They're probably gonna look sick when I wear like a very simple outfit.
As you've been wearing them every single day.
And then I've been wearing them every day, and they're like my new favorite pair of shoes. So
And you got a compliment yesterday, literally.
I did. I got validation.
There it is.
There it
See,
is.
sometimes a wrist just needs a quick validation, and it's like so worth it.
So, period. It was a risk worth taking. $63 of a risk, to be exact.
Hey, it's pretty cheap cowboy boots, I gotta say.
I gotta say.
It's pretty good. Not a huge risk. Oh my god. Yeah, I don't know. Little risks, big risks, permanent ones, not so permanent ones.
Literally
They surround us.
When you see like your life, you're like, I've been taking risks my entire fucking life.
Yeah.
Just look at it that way. Whenever you're gonna like thinking you're making another risk, just be like, I've fucking done 20,000 of them at this point.
Yeah, I can handle this. No big deal.
No big deal.
You got this.
Just go out there and fucking do something. Just after this, after you listen to this, just
Go
be
make
like,
a dirty Shirley and you can do anything.
What's that? Oh, I'm beautiful and fast, but this one's just like I'm beautiful and drunk
And risky.
and risky.
Risque.
Also, in
For
terms
real.
of being risky, don't be risky with like your body, though. I will say,
Don't be risque, like actually.
wear a condom. Please don't get any STDs.
Correct. That is required.
That is it. That's all I got.
Don't be taking risks with your health. Thank you very much for coming to this TED Talk.
I'm gonna eat this cherry.
Okay, we'll
I
do it
don't
at
know
the
if
same time.
I don't know if I can have the last sip
Girl,
at this this
I actually
moment.
feel fine. Fun fact, Mel's more of a lightweight than me.
Yes.
As the cup hits my tooth. I promise I'm not drunk.
I am. I don't know why I'm such a lightweight. I didn't used to be.
I think I'm in the middle.
These are real cherries.
What do you mean?
Our artificial cherries are always like
Like, the
Real?
whole thing is fake?
Mhm.
No. Oh.
How do they pit these? Like, take the pits out if they're whole.
You're asking the wrong girl.
I'm really confused.
No idea. Can't help you there.
Anyway.
Someone in the comments, run it. Why are the cherries pitted? How? Anyways, we should go. But you guys should comment on our YouTube channel. And please give us some love. We had a hater on Instagram. You guys should go check it out because it was kind of funny that he was so upset.
And King, if you're listening, keep listening.
Leave us some love because we appreciate it. But having our first hater was validating in a way.
It means we're getting up there in life.
Like, someone's seeing us.
Quite honestly, like, I feel like that's when you're like, you're doing something right.
Someone's
If
upset.
someone's saying something. Yeah.
Kim Kardashian, so many haters. She killing it? Yes.
Yes.
Anyways, leave us some love, follow us, subscribe. You guys know the drill. Please give us a 5-star review, and we'll see you guys next week.
Bye.